Hello friends, today we are going to discuss about artificial intelligence. Will it replace health professionals? I am Dr. Suresh Badadmat, Professor of Psychiatry, working at National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, Bangalore. In this video, I'll be addressing an important concern, whether artificial intelligence such as ChatGPT will it replace health professionals such as doctors, nurses, and any other allied healthcare professionals. This question will be answered in this video. Let's understand what is artificial intelligence. This is a word which was coined in 1956 by John McCarthy. That means it is a very old term. AI is defined as the simulation of human intelligence by machines. That means we are using machines to mimic human intelligence. Let's understand the artificial intelligence further deep. It's an umbrella term, includes machine learning and also deep learning. Let's look into this. As you know, artificial intelligence is mimicking the human intelligence. In that, we have moved further towards something called as machine learning. Here, we are going to give data or feed data into the computer, and we write algorithms to interpret the data. Here, based upon the quality of the data, quantity of the data, and algorithm, it will give you output. From there now, we have moved into something called as deep learning. Here, we are moving from a brain to a neural network, that is artificial neural networks. That means we are trying to mimic neurons now. How the neurons work, how the feedback loop works from one level to another level, which we call it as a node. In simple term, from brain to neuron, we have moved on. In this background, the question comes as whether artificial intelligence will it replace healthcare professionals? To understand in a simple terms, let's understand PubMed. Here the PubMed, every year, millions of articles are published, abstracts are catalogued. This is a database. And now, based on the search terms, it will rate the publication. That is the first level. But by use of artificial intelligence in the next level, that is the second level, I can call it as by the ChatGPT. Here, not only cataloging, by these abstracts and full articles, it will critically analyze the data. Now, if you ask any question to this artificial intelligence with regard to health, it will summarize and give you the answer. It is almost synthesizing the content, that is creative writing it has started, and this creative writing is based upon certain logical sense or else based upon algorithms given to this artificial intelligence. That means by a database, that means from the database we have moved on to critically evaluating the articles and writing a systematic review. That means now the artificial intelligence has moved to systematic writing, almost equivalent to a second or third year of MD student or MS student. That means artificial intelligence is now moving towards the critically evaluating the available data. Again, I would like to give the Google is a search engine which will catalog all the websites and information. When you search, it will give you the results in the form of hierarchy, whereas ChatGPT will do a systematic review of the available data and will present it to you in a digested, critically evaluated data to you. The name ChatGPT combines chat, referring to the chatbot functionality, and GPT means stands for generative pre-trained transformer. Here, algorithms will be written based on the available data, and it will process this data and will give you a critically evaluated summary to you. That means we have moved from database to critically evaluated data, which is summarized and given to the human beings. That means now we are using this artificial intelligence in various aspects of healthcare. First and the foremost is virtual assistants and chatbots. That means in the hospital, Before the client or the patient talks to the healthcare provider, these interfaces are there so that the client or the patient knows whom to take consultation, where to go for consultation, when the appointment is available. Simple questions will be answered here. Further, at the second level, natural language processing units have been placed. From there, predictive analytics, especially with regard to public health policy, in which area there will be a breakout, where does the requirement of medicine is there, where is the requirement of the funding and budget will be discussed, and the artificial intelligence will give you a prediction, and so that the meager health resources whichever is there can be utilized in a meaningful manner. From there, we are now using artificial intelligence for emotional recognition, for crime prevention, and also suicide, further to detect the criminal. Now we are now moving to the important area, personalized treatment and intervention. By using artificial intelligence, data driven insights and decision making is another important area, is slowly growing now. Further, early detection and prevention is an important area now artificial intelligence need to work on. Now the question is whether the chat GPT will replace healthcare professionals. Now let's answer this question. If you look at the available literature with regard to scientific, there was a study done by Johnson and his colleagues, published in 2023, a study titled Assessing the Accuracy and Reliability of AI General Medical Response, an evaluation of ChatGPT model. In this study, 33 physicians across 17 specialties generated 284 medical questions. And then it was fed to AI machine. Then once the answer were retrieved for these 284 questions, the physicians graded these ChatGPT answers. The answers were corrected on two important parameters, accuracy and completeness. The accuracy was graded on a 6-point Likert scale. 1 means completely incorrect, that means wrong. 6 was completely correct. ChatGPT scored median of 5.5 and mean of 4.8 for accuracy. This is ChatGPT, my dear friends. The second was completeness. It was scored on 3-point Likert scale. 1 is incomplete, 3 was complete. ChatGPT scored median 3 and mean of 2.5 for completeness. That means the AI ChatGPT, although it was not trained in health sector, it was able to answer with precision. Similarly, one more article published by Gilson and his colleagues in 2023 with regard to how does ChatGPT perform on United States medical licensing exam, that is USMLE. The implication of large language model for medical education and knowledge assessment. Here, the authors of the study took two sets of multiple choice questions to evaluate ChatGPT's performance, each with questions pertaining to step 1 and step 2 USMLE. The question bank was taken by step 1 for AMBOS and for step 2 NBMEA. These are basically the question papers which are there as a database. From there, they randomly took this. And then they assessed for the ChatGPT's response. My dear friends, ChatGPT performed at a greater than 60% threshold on NBMEA free step 1 dataset, and the model achieves the equivalent of a passing third year medical student. That means we have an artificial intelligence who can work at the third year student, my dear friends. And not only giving answer, it is able to logically explain why that answer is there. These facts taken together makes a compelling case for potential applications of ChatGPT as an interactive medical education tool for supporting learning not only for medical students, but also public at large. Think about this. That means we have an artificial intelligence at the third year level of MD student. And now, if we are going to train AI in the health set data with high quality data, huge data, And if you are able to write a good algorithm, will it become a physician? Will it become a surgeon? Is the question we need to answer. Now, the important question is, will it replace healthcare professionals? If you look at the ethics and regulation of AI, healthcare professional, healthcare industry is highly regulated. If you want to start an hospital, at least in India, we require 53 permission licenses to start. What about artificial intelligence? It is highly unregulated. That means minimally regulated. The laws are hardly one or two, and there is no ethics how AI should be evolved. That means the ethics of the software engineer or the coder will be applied here. That means it is unregulated. It is high time now. We need to regulate this artificial intelligence in the professional area. That means we need to regulate so that AI should not take over and harm human beings. That means regulation and laws will come into picture, and under this framework, AI need to work, and the coder of the AI need to code the algorithms. Second important is, who is accountable? If imagine artificial intelligence is able to write algorithms on its own, that means it can code the software by itself. Suppose if you release a doctor who is an artificial intelligence based, and that artificial intelligence based doctor or an application gives a wrong advice, who will be held responsible? Is it the coder? The coder will say, I don't know. It is a side effect of artificial intelligence. Can we hold the company responsible? Or else, if this application is released in US and it gives advice in some other country and something goes wrong in that country, who will be held responsible? Hence, the WHO and various other agencies have come up with an important solution called as human in the loop is a mandatory health related AI. That means if you are going to use artificial intelligence for human health services, you need to have a doctor or a healthcare professional who is going to monitor how the healthcare application will be utilized. Will it harm the human being? Will it cause any kind of impact or injury on the human being? Will be monitored, and he will be held responsible if something goes wrong. That means human in the loop is essential. Similarly, FDA of US clearly says that if you are going to use health application for a illness, it has to be approved by FDA, and FDA clearly says that it has to be prescribed by a physician, and physician will be held responsible if it goes wrong. That's the way the regulations have been written now. That means application cannot run the way they want. It will be related, and loop of a human will be brought in. The next question is, if a AI generated product, will it be harming any other people? Not only the patient. Imagine AI needs to work. If it has to work, you need to provide data, high quality data, huge data. And imagine through this data, it will interpret and come up with its own solution. Suppose if it come up with a solution, who will own the copyright? Who will own the intellectual property rights? Imagine if the data has been taken from your research and the data is taken from somewhere else and the AI is generating, who will be the copyright holder? Is it the company who wrote the AI? That means currently artificial intelligence which are using the tool, they are violating the copyrights. Intellectual property rights are violated. The person who needs to get the credit is not getting the credit. And if something goes wrong, who will be held responsible? Who will be held liable for compensation? These are the answers need to be done. That means we need to set across the table both healthcare professionals, software industry, the people who have data, and also across the globe, every country need to sit together, and we need to come up with a regulation and laws to iron out these differences. That can be done at the United Nations level, and everyone need to accept this. Then only the artificial intelligence will work in favor of human being and also the growth of human being. Third one, what will happen to artificial intelligence biases? Of course, humans are coding this algorithms. They have their own biases. They may take the data from only particular places, not from everywhere. And of course, the data from the developing country is not available at all. And many a time, the coder's bias may creep in. And invariably, this artificial intelligence may bias, may do racial discrimination, may abuse, and it may give misinformation, it may give wrong data, and various other things can happen. How to overcome this biases? Who will take the responsibility of these biases? These are important questions need to be answered. If you answer this question properly, then AI will never take over human beings. The next one is artificial intelligence and health data. Suppose artificial intelligence, when it is answering a query, if it reveals some important information about a person, about a patient, about his mental health issues, and various other data are leaked into the public domain, what will happen to that? That means we need to have a security features in this artificial intelligence so that any person or any patient's data is not revealed here. Hence, high quality data, huge quantity data without compromising the privacy is the need of the hour. And human is essential for generating the data. Without this data, AI is useless. And we need to enter this data. Tagging this data has to be done, writing the algorithms and interpreting the data. And if this algorithm, something mistake is occurring, we need to correct this. And we need to tell the machine to correct itself. These are important human components which need to play a role. And we need to test this data against the clinical data, whether it is right or wrong. And if there is a poor outcome, we need to rewrite the algorithms. And if something goes wrong during this process, we need to hold somebody liable for this. And that need to be written in the regulations. And as I mentioned, data security is very, very essential, my dear friends. The AI may take your facial configuration, finger imprints, retinal images, and those data can be compromised to take money out of your bank accounts. Also, your important security information can be taken out. Hence, we need to have a single regulation or a law across the world so that if this artificial intelligence falls into the wrong hands and they may utilize against the humanity, hence these laws will play an important role to protect the human beings by using this artificial intelligence by antisocial people. What about the local data input? If we don't give local data, that means if you want to have the AI very specifically for India, we need to provide our own local data, the data from our own patients, the clinical data from our own resources. And then we need to write the algorithms for our own patients. And we need to train AI with regard to culture, dialect, sensitivity, language, vocabulary, and so forth. Then this AI becomes very useful locally. That means cultural adaptation locally is a very, very important phenomena. Without that, you will bring a foreign doctor in India and you ask him to work here. Invariably, he will make wrong diagnosis and wrong prescription and wrong treatment. Now the question is, if the AI falls in a wrong hand, imagine AI is like a nuclear energy. What that energy will be utilized determines the future of human being. Is this technology safe? Of course it is safe. If it is used by antisocial psychopaths, then it can be dangerous also. So should we ban this AI? You cannot ban AI. Let me be very clear. Can you ban drugs? Invariably, it will be sold in the underworld. Similarly, if you ban AI in the real world, in the underworld, they will develop AI and they will deploy it against the good people. Hence, banning AI is not the solution. We need to work with, we need to regulate this, make sure The good people have edge over the bad people with regard to usage of AI. That is the need of the hour. But however, one need to understand there is a butterfly effect. It is easy to predict the computer's behavior. It is very difficult to predict human behavior. That means the human behavior is dependent upon various information available, depending upon the circumstances, depending upon the environment, depending upon various other factors. Then the butterfly effect is the idea that small things can have a non-linear impact on a complex system. That means human behavior is very complex. Human body is very complex. It may not react the same way when the drug was given. For example, if a person has headache, you would give paracetamol, he may respond today. Tomorrow he may not respond at all. That means it's not a non-linear fashion. That is called as butterfly effect. And we do not have answer to this. A simple one more example is if you give an antibiotic for a person for a same infection, it may respond to him. In another person, it may not respond at all, or he may develop side effect. That is butterfly effect because human body is very complex and we don't have answer to this. And practice of medicine is an art, not just a science. You can code science and coding an art is difficult, and combining both and coding in AI is a big challenge. AI has been developed to augment human work and human intelligence. It was planned to augment, supplement, and complement human intelligence, not to replace human intelligence. Any new AI application is developed, need to be tested by a human being, and it has to be tested against the human intelligence, need to be verified by humans on various parameters, and also including safety for humans, whether it can be consumed or not. Under this regulation, AI need to develop. That means we need to develop the regulations, that we need to develop laws which will be applicable across the world. That means, my dear friends, AI needs to be regulated. Banning is not the solution. And of course, if you are able to regulate well, it will complement, supplement, and augment human intelligence. Again, the question is, will it replace healthcare professions? That can be answered if you know certain important parameters. Human beings have an edge over artificial intelligence with regard to consciousness. AI is not a conscious person. It is a machine. It is not having self-awareness. Can we develop? In next 20 to 30 years, no. We have motivation. Human beings are motivated by food, family, pleasure, sex, appreciation, money, power, achievements, property, learning, purpose in life, altruism, pleasure. All this is a motivation for us to develop, get up daily, run to achieve something. If you write AI, will it run endlessly is the question. How long it will run? What will be the energy provider? How long the energy will be provided? What is its motive? What is the motivation for it to run? Whether it is self-aware, whether it is self-conscious. And of course, human beings, the survival of species, reproduction plays an important role in our life. What about for artificial intelligence? The other important is the quality of human is being having emotional, having love in our life. Does AI can do it? Is a question. Creativity, imagination, of course, spirituality, which is difficult to decode. Can AI develop this? Further, social networking and being connected not just online or through Wi-Fi, connected through heart. Will it be possible? That is the question we need to ask. Empathy and understanding one's own emotion and others' emotion. That is emotional intelligence. Can we code it? Can we develop a robo which can do this? Leadership skills. Can artificial intelligence robo, can it become the prime minister of a country? President of US? Can it be possible? Will it the constitution of that country, will it allow? Is the question we need to answer. Managing human resources, which needs complex emotional intelligence, interaction, connectivity, all those is very difficult to code, and in real time is very difficult because human behavior is complex. Further, every human being is governed by principles of law, ethics, values, culture, and moral consideration. Does AI work in this background under this framework? And human are usually adventurous and they feel and also want to experience the life. Will the AI can do it? And further, we have a human beings believe in God, religion, and something bigger in life is protecting us. And for artificial intelligence, the God is the human being. Will this artificial intelligence replaces the God? Further, AI can only reduce the demand in certain specialities. For example, in radiology and dermatology, it will not be able to replace radiology and dermatology. Here again, we may require 10 doctors to read CT scan. You may develop an artificial intelligence to read and help the radiologist to give the report. But we require radiologist, we require dermatologist, but the demand will decrease. That means a single radiologist will be able to do 10 or 20 radiologist work by using AI. That doesn't mean it will replace it. At the end of the day, we require a healthcare professional to connect and also to verify the report given by AI. Further, there are certain medical fields such as psychiatry is highly subjective. It is very difficult to code. It is very difficult to understand human emotions, that emotion based illnesses. And hence, it is very difficult to have a human robot as a psychiatrist or a therapist. And again, in therapy, the placebo effect, transference, countertransference, will it be able to generate this using a patient and a robo is a big question. And at this point of time, next 5 decades, it is simply impossible to come up with this. Still, the question is, after 5 decades, will it be able to replace? Yes, it is possible if we are able to replace mothers. That means my mother or your mother, if you are able to replace them by a robo with the same physical rigor, vigor, emotions, proactiveness, and nurturance of their children. If it is able to do that, that means that day AI won the race against human. Can we do that? You can build a machine. Can you put love into this? Can you give the proactive nurturance to this machine? The day when we are able to do that, my dear friends, it will replace healthcare professionals. Not only healthcare professionals, humans will be replaced. But at this point of time, we do not have such machines, or maybe in next five decades, it is not possible. The question is, what is the future of AI in healthcare? The AI needs regulation at this point of time. Ethical regulation, moral regulation, legal regulation, not in one country, across the globe, my dear friends. AI can make medical care more accessible and cost effective. That means a remote person in a remote village in the last mile can get connected, and AI will help him to connect to a doctor and do some repeated tasks and help the doctor to give a good treatment. That means it will augment, it will complement and supplement the healthcare professionals in providing care. Further, AI is going to bring in patient centered healthcare, not hospital centered or else doctor centered. That means the people will demand AI augmented healthcare. The reason is transparency will be there, efficiency will be there, at the same time, cost effectiveness will be there. That means every doctor should know about artificial intelligence, how he is going to use and utilize for the beneficial of its patient will be the future of healthcare. That means it will not replace any doctor. It will supplement, augment the doctors in providing care. Further, AI in medical education. That means artificial intelligence will be used for teaching doctors, medical students, nurses, workshops, seminars, anywhere, any place. And these AI also will do exams, conduct exams to the students, and impartial rating will be given. That means medical academics will be driven by AI. And again, the medical doctors is going to verify this. Further, artificial intelligence based clinical care, nursing care, administrative issues, bedless community, all those will come into picture. That means AI is going to further help in reaching out to the patient, helps the doctor to connect to the patient, and provide various other counseling, life skills, administration of consent, providing accurate data, and also transparency will help the healthcare industry to move towards the patient. Further, not only that, artificial intelligence also will play a crucial role in research, drug discovery, writing manuscript, planning a study, and also analyzing the data, and finally, invariably publishing this data through books, articles, journals will be an important event which is going to happen. That means we are at the watershed mark, my dear friends. That you need to understand. To conclude, AI will never replace healthcare professionals. I'll repeat again. Artificial intelligence is not going to replace healthcare professionals, not in near future, not maybe in next 5 decades. Of course, it will replace certain specialities. It will replace certain jobs, but not human beings, not healthcare professionals. That means the healthcare professional who are going to adapt to AI and who use this AI to reach their patient, to provide healthcare, to provide effective healthcare will win. And also, AI is going to augment, supplement, and complement the doctors in providing the care. And of course, AI will not be able to do creative job, empathy, emotion, human touch, networking, leadership, accountability, purpose, socializing is difficult to code and write algorithms in this area. That means at this point of time, the AI does not have answer for emotional intelligence, social intelligence, social networking, and spiritual quotient. These are the very important phenomena of being a human, which at this point of time, we are able to crack this and feed into a computer. AI is like a nuclear energy, my dear friends. It can make the future or break the future. How it is possible? That means if the AI falls into a wrong hand, that means if it falls into a psychopaths, terrorist, or bad people, how they will use this AI against humanity will decide. It is not AI but by itself is harmful. It is the bad people who are going to dictate using this artificial intelligence. AI will never replace human, but definitely certain jobs will be removed, and we need to adapt to this AI, and new jobs will be created, and more new jobs will come to provide care for the needy, my dear friends. The final question, my dear friends, what will happen if this technology falls into wrong hands? That is the question we need to answer. The question whether AI replaces human being is the wrong question. The answer is we need to develop regulation, ethical framework, not only in India, across the world, so that algorithms and the coders will do within this framework without harming any other person, any other human being, not only in our country, across the country, and also across the universe. That is the answer. Thank you for giving your valuable time. Stay safe.